be more than human. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Joseph Carroll. I write under the pen name J.R. Carroll. And today we are going to talk about Leigh Bardugo's Hellbent. And this is the sequel to the highly popular, highly critically acclaimed Ninth House. Now, I had a video up reviewing Ninth House not too long ago, and I'm one of these people who must have been living under a rock because, last year was my first really big year trying to read as many fantasy and sci-fi books as possible because I made this channel. Now, up until recently, I started searching out kind of authors kind of out of my wheelhouse that maybe I haven't been seeing, and she was one that popped up, and I seen super popular, and then I was like, oh, I remember seeing her show come up on Netflix. I haven't watched it. But now I think I might get into it, and I actually might go back and read some of the other books. But on to Hellbent. So this book pretty much picks us right up where we left off. Now I'm going to keep the majority of this non-spoiler, and then at the end there might be some things that are a little spoilery, but I kind of do want to talk about some cool things, and I can't really do that without minor spoilers. But if you haven't read, Hellbent yet, or maybe you just kind of stumbled upon this because Hellbent's everywhere. I think it's one of the, it just got released. It's one of the biggest books, in Amazon right now. But if you haven't read Ninth House, I'll kind of give you a summary of what this Alex Stern series is about. So we have this woman. She's 20 years old, just going into Yale, and she has this ability to see ghosts. Now, there's all these secret societies, right? At Yale, Skull and Bones, and then there's a bunch of other ones, but there's one called Ninth House, and or Leafy, and what it is supposed to do is kind of watch all the other houses, and these houses have different, or they specialize in different types of magic. And I thought that was a really cool premise, because I love when authors will use real life things that have some mystery about them, and then kind of make their own answer to what that mystery is, or if there is rumors about it, like just expand on those. And she does a beautiful job of that here. And the first book was really, and I guess that what this whole series is supposed to be under the umbrella of dark academia. But to me, this, Hellbent really started to turn into urban fantasy, like your kind of quintessential, like your Dresden Files and your Sandman Slim. Really started to feel like that, which I enjoy. I love me a good urban fantasy. And we're kind of expanding on Alex Stern's abilities here, what she's capable of. We dive more into her backstory, and in the first book, I really enjoyed the book, but one of my gripes on it was how she kind of skimmed over some of the cooler aspects going on in the magical realm, in the school or this universe that she's creating. And I was like, well, okay, we focus a lot on this type of magic, it's cool, but it's not like crazy magic. But she mentions in passing some really crazy powerful magic stuff and just kind of glosses over it like but I knew, especially since the sequel's coming out, I knew we were going to start getting into explaining or showing more of that. And if you're making a series, you don't want to blow it all out in the first book. And she did not disappoint when picking up the magic strength and the diversity of magic was expanded on here. And a lot of people, they really liked was the personal aspect of Ninth House, her backstory, her trauma. And we got a little bit more of that here. Not, I think she used a lot of it in Ninth House, which, she told you most of, Alex Stern's backstory here, in the first book. So, yes, we did get a little bit more personal with this, but this became more of a mission. There's a mission to this book, and I mean, it's not a secret. At the end of Ninth House, they tell you, she tells you that she doesn't think Darlington's dead, right? And so that's the mission here. Try to find out what happened to him, where he's at, can he be saved? And I think her writing is even better in this. I think she's getting comfortable writing Alex Stern. And again, like I said, it's feeling more like your quintessential urban fantasy, with like a lot of times they'll have to get like little tools of the trade and stuff like that, which you didn't see a lot of that in the first book, or not a whole lot of it. And here it becomes, I don't know, she gets to be more of a badass in this one. Let's just say that. But if you, I would recommend this book to anybody who likes dark academia, likes urban fantasy. If the prose and the writing style is very attainable, which I applaud Leigh Bardugo for doing that. A lot of authors now are trying to be like, "Ooh, look how great my writing is! Look how purple my prose are, or look how many $10 words I can put in." The writing is very accessible, very smart on her part. And so if you like those things and you haven't read Ninth House, I would read Ninth House. And I will say that this book, to me, was not as emotional as Ninth House, but I think it's a funner read. I'll put it that way. So read Ninth House if it's appealing to you. Maybe it's not your favorite book, but if you're like, if you like where she was going with it, read this book, and I think it'll help kind of take off. I think she should just keep going in this direction with the series, and she's just gonna have a hit after hit, kind of like a Dresden. This could be like a female Dresden Files in her own way type deal. All right, so I'm going to go into a little bit of spoilers to kind of explain some of the things that I like. This not, I mean, if you go past this and you haven't read the book, I'm not going to ruin the book for you. But, you'll know some characters that are coming up and some weird things that kind of do happen. So you have been warned. If you want to go in blind and everything, you don't want anything ruined for you, jump off, finish the book, come back. Okay. And again, for all you who are going to bounce, thank you for watching. Subscribe, comment about what do you like about this new, is this one of your new favorite series? So here we go. I really liked how she's pulling actual demons in now, and giving Alex new powers. She gets like this like fire power, and they start using like weaponry a lot in this book with like swords and these pearl salt beads and stuff that they're using to fight off the Greys, and even some demon like creatures. And then also she's introducing more supernatural creatures such as vampires, and you know her take on vampires is not like not crazy out of the ordinary, although she's kind of straddles the fence on, is a vampire a demon of sorts. I thought that was really cool, but I am super interested in her bringing in more supernatural aspects of it. I mean, I think in the first book she talks about werewolves possibly, or shapeshifters. So that is something I'll be looking forward to. But Alex becomes more of a fighter in this book, and I think that's going to set up great for the series going forward. Super excited. An early great book. We'll see where this ranks on my books of the year 2023, but we're just a few days in. But I don't want to spoil any more for you. I just wanted to give you a couple cool things that were going on that I really appreciated. But definitely a more urban fantasy, quintessential urban fantasy vibe for this. But I may have to check out some more of Leigh Bardugo's writing, and maybe go back and read her her original Shadow and Bone and all that good stuff. But thank you very much for watching the video, and remember, be more than human.